This is Madison, Illinois, another all-black American city. I like to give people something nice to look at, other than some guy talking. I translate my videos into 10 other languages. I was translating my videos into 15 different languages, but that was too much work. My point is that men are dealing with the same issues all over the world. Thus, it does not matter your race, nationality, or country. Men are encountering women who are full of self, delusional, game players, or immature worldwide. The videos I have been showing are in regard to black women, but this is because I have been hanging out in the black areas of YouTube. However, white, Asian, and many other men are experiencing the same stuff. There is a movement in the United States called Passport Brother. It is about black American men, who got their passports, moved to another country, and are telling men back in the United States that women in these countries are better than most American women. Countries such as Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Thailand, the Dominican Republic, the Philippines, Vietnam, Korea, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Eastern Europe. These are not just black men from the United States that have YouTube channels talking about the women in these countries, but also men from Mexico, Japan, Poland, Canada, and many other countries. In the United States, many women say that cooking and cleaning for a man is like slavery. Thus, if you marry one of these women, and you work, and the woman is a stay-at-home mother, the woman will still expect that when the man comes home from work, he will also help with the cooking and cleaning. Many men in the United States do not like this. We men work all day, and she has been at home all day, and we men know how long it takes to clean a house and cook food. Thus we feel like we are just a paycheck to these women. We men are taking care of all of her emotional and psychological desires, and getting nothing in return. So why get married? Even the good-looking men who are wealthy are experiencing the same issues when it comes to women in the United States. All of the men that have moved to these other countries are telling men in the United States that they do not experience these issues with women in other countries. Women in other countries will cook and clean for her man. All of the men that moved to these countries found a woman within 6 months to a year, and all of them are happily married. All of these men were not looking for a woman. They are like me. They just want to find a nice place to live, or go on a vacation or holiday. There are hundreds of men all over YouTube that are telling their stories. The ages of these men range from 30 years to over 70 years. About 20 years ago, I had a white male friend named Bob. Bob said that when he dated black women, the relationship seemed much more considerate and caring than when he dated a white female. I told Bob that when I dated white females, the relationship seemed much more considerate and caring than when I dated a black woman. Now, today, 20 years later, there is a lot less racism in the United States. So therefore, a man is treated like a paycheck by all the women in the United States. Black, white, Asian, it does not matter. At the end of this video, I will provide a link to a video I made regarding men who are over the age of 40 years old, single and poor, but are living a good life in another country.
I think it is a travesty to have so many attractive, educated, intelligent, chronically single black women because you refuse to act like your non-black counterparts. You refuse to be competitive. You refuse to understand that the sexual marketplace requires you to compete for men. I have a colleague. His name is Dr. Tia-San Johnson. He teaches Black Masculine Studies, University of California, Santa Barbara. One of the 2 places in the country that teaches about black men. And you know what? He told me one of the largest enrollees in his class used to be white women. It used to fascinate him until he asked, "Why are you here?" He sat there and asked some of these college students, she's like, "I like black men. My boyfriend's black. I want to learn about the black culture, be a better woman for my man." You know who's not in that class? You. Becky's there to learn how to be a better woman to a black man, but you just expect black men to show up. Now Hispanic women are starting to show up because other women are coming for your men because other women have heard that y'all don't compete for your men. You just leave your treasure out there. So then you get mad when the Kardashians or when the ballers end up going with Becky. Why he married a white woman? Because you think it's self-hate. No, you're not. It's because those women actually showed some interest and came around and actually acted like they cared. They didn't just sit back like, "You need to come court me." But when black men get with non-black women, it ain't because they hate themselves. Most black men who are with non-black women will tell you they love black women. Their first choice will be a black woman. But being with a black woman in general is too complex. And then you tell it to a sister, well, we worked it, such and so forth. And all that sounds good until
I've seen some of the most beautiful women that are humble, in person, cooperative, and friendly. And in abundance. They're everywhere. You can't get away from them if you want. So when you come back to the United States, when I get back in Miami, I'm like, oh, you know, she was a 10 before I got there, but now I'm looking at her like she probably like a 7. What the hell was that? What was I worried about? These ain't even the top notch like I thought. So if you don't want to, if you want to continue to just feel like American women are the best, don't leave the country. And especially don't go to South America. Have you ever had a chick ride the city bus to come see you? And have you ever had all that without anybody saying, in my hand? Nothing. They don't want nothing. So pretty much when I got back to the States, the first time I went to Brazil in February 2022, this year, I was like, I'm good. I was like, I'm going back in May. I'm not having sex no more in the United States until I get back. For me to do that, that was odd. I work out a lot. I have a high sex drive. So for me to do that, it goes to show you something better. So stop dating women in the United States altogether. I know I said stop, don't marry a woman. They think that you want to control them because you ask them to sweep the fucking floor in the same house that they fucking live in. You go to these other countries, you experience these women that treat you like you are somebody, like a real human, to be honest. And then you come back here. Man, I came back here and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait to have sex again when I get out of the country. That money it costs me to hang out in Austin for 3 days pays for 2 months in fucking Colombia. They don't need a man. They don't need us. Let them die alone. We go to another country, find you a woman, come back. Shit, don't even come back. And then before I go, another thing, I talked to my homeboy. He said, oh, those women in South America, they just act like that because they're basically second-class citizens. They're not treated like shit. The same shit that women here claim to be. Women that are being so oppressed that they cook for their men and they sweep the floor. And then what do you have back here? It's the day and night difference. It's a complete flip. Fuck out the United States.
As a man, if a woman asks you to do some shit, the only replies you should have is yes or
Today's video is going to be, I have no interest in dating American women and would rather date foreign women. Let me explain why. It's because the sense of entitlement in today's society, 75 to 85% of women do not want to be women anymore. They just don't. Especially here in America, in the West. I'd rather travel abroad, go overseas, and find a woman that's going to cater to my needs and treat me like a king, rather than suffer here and get treated like trash. Look, I don't care if she's from Germany, Japan, Australia, Croatia, the Philippines, Thailand. I would rather date foreign women than date women here in the US.
This whole passport brothers thing in the eyes of black women.
Respectfully, good sir, I really don't think that they believe that it's the dudes working at Amazon making $15 an hour that are actively going to do this. I think they are well aware that that's not likely to happen. What they are really fuming about is these same men no longer giving them attention. And it's not necessarily a black woman thing, in my opinion. I've noticed that when I was active duty, white girls who were active duty that got passed around always found a boyfriend who, if they weren't checking for a guy who was active duty, that same guy can get a local Japanese chick and they will give that same guy the dirtiest fucking looks. So what it really boils down to is women competing for attention and men realizing that they can take their attention elsewhere, and they're using whatever they can to keep these men to pay attention in terms of shaming language.
Y'all, I mean, I don't know when he gonna post this, but he ain't been here 24 hours yet. He's still campaigning in Brazil. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I give him 3 more days, and we're gonna see he can make a real assessment of this place. I wish he could show y'all Soy 6. But they was hey, I was there. They was grabbing on Austin like he was Shamar Moore. They was grabbing on, but they was grabbing on me too. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what they do, man. They make you feel like important. You know what I mean? Even if it's just for that moment, you know, the fact of women fawning over you, you know what I mean, just for being here. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Because they give you the credit, because it's like, he must have something going on with himself, because how could he be all the way here in Thailand if he ain't nothing going on for himself? So I know he got something going on for himself. So that's the way it is. That's what's going on.
God, I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay. I'm okay. No, all right, thank you. Saudi, huh?